Chronicle was released in 2012 and was directed by Josh Trank. Chronicle tells the story of three teenagers, Andrew, Matt and Steve. Andrew is a social outcast, and then one day him and his two friends, they discover superpowers. Although Andrew starts to lose control of the powers and the powers start controlling him against his own free will. So Chronicle, this is pretty interesting to me. I heard about it through Mitchell Sorinki. He told me a lot about it and I did a bit of research on it and I thought, wow, this actually sounds like a really interesting movie. So thanks for telling me about it. After seeing it for the first time, I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. I believe Mitchell Sorinki calls it his favourite film of all time, so that's pretty awesome. I'm glad to hear you love it. I've seen a lot of people actually praise it, and I can definitely see why it gets praise, but for me, I didn't really like it. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, by any means. It's one of those movies where you feel it's objectively a good movie, but you personally just don't really like it, but you don't hate it either. So, what's the story for me? The story was fine. It is actually pretty well written, I have to admit. I don't mind the first half. The first half, I didn't mind. I was like, it's not that bad. But then the second half, oh boy, things go really, really dark. Like, this movie is beyond the levels of dark. Like, holy crap, the film had me shocked in a lot of places. Which, in my eyes, kind of made some scenes feel very mean-spirited and actually shocked me. Like, I was quite shocked with the tone the movie took. Like, there is a lot of risks that the film takes, and while I appreciate that, but to me, it felt a bit, I wouldn't say overboard, but it felt so shocking. Like, it shocked me. Like, I was very, very shocked with, like, oh my god, they did that. Oh my god, they went to that extreme. And I think the two halves, because the first half is, it's quite simple, like it's a little light-hearted, but then the second half is like really, extremely dark. I think the two halves don't really gel well, if I'm being honest. I mean, I appreciate the tone, like the direction. I actually think Josh Trank's direction is very well good. I just think, in my opinion, the two halves didn't gel well. That's not to say it's terrible, I just don't think they felt connected. Like, they felt very off with one another. But it's not a bad story. Again, like I said, the movie does have risks. It is a very ballsy film. It, has a lot of dark moments, but it just felt very mean-spirited to me in some scenes. And some scenes I did find a bit stupid. But, again, it's not terrible. It's just something I go, it's very well good, but personally, I just can't really attach to it. The special effects and CGI are fine. I did feel the climax, while I appreciate what it did, it felt very far-fetched to me. Like, it felt very unrealistic. I do, however, like the moral of this movie. It has a moral of consequence, and it's actually a very, very good moral. I just don't think the story is that great to have that moral, but I can see why they have the moral in it. It's a very serious moral of consequence. I didn't really care much for most of the characters, if I'm being honest. Andrew was okay. I did like his character arc, but he kind of felt very unlikable at points for no good reason. And while I appreciate the direction, but he just felt very unlikable, although maybe it's just because I'm not a big fan of the actor. He also played Harry Osborn in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm not a big fan of that actor. I don't know, there's something about him I don't really like. Matt was okay. He was like, the best friend. He was alright in my opinion. Steve, however, is definitely the best character. He is awesome. And the second half oh boy, I did not see that coming. The other characters are okay. They're just kind of, well, they're not forgettable, but they're just kind of there. The music is pretty good. So overall, what I'm saying is, it's a very well made movie. It's very well acted, very well directed, and it has got a good message. But I have very mixed feelings on it. Part of me does like it, part of me just doesn't really like it. But I don't think it's awful. I think it's alright. Like, it's this close to being good in my eyes, but it is well made for what it is. Overall, Chronicle is okay in my eyes. It's not horrible, it is very well made, it just didn't really do it for me. So I'm going to give Chronicle a 6 out of 10. And I believe this is the film's 9th anniversary, so happy 9th anniversary. Thank you for telling me about this film, Mitchell. And what do you guys think of Chronicle? Let me know in the comments below. Is it worth a watch? Yeah. Just if you're sensitive to like dark matters, I maybe don't watch it, but like it's worth a watch. Like it's definitely worth at least one watch. Stay tuned for my next review, whatever that will be. And until then, guys, good douche everyone, and take care.